The nostalgic countryside of Japan. I long to visit this corner of Shikoku, Japan's smallest main island. My first glimpse came through Onomichi on a previous trip. Just a few stolen hours that somehow lodged themselves deep into my heart. Every corner of that area looked like I was part of a Ghibli movie. Now that brief visit left me wanting for more. Wanting to slow down, wanting to wander more, and just wanting to truly understand what the Japanese countryside looks and feels like. And this time, I came back to do exactly that. I landed in Tokyo late at night. 3 connecting flights, 12 to 14 hours of travel. The excitement I had imagined for that first day was quickly humbled by my exhaustion. Now, crossing a city that size, especially without sleep, really takes a toll on you. After reaching my hostel and freshening up, I pushed myself out the door. Nakameguro was my first stop. Now these flowers were another reason why I wanted to come to Japan. After a while, I also swung by Sakurazaka before making my way to my next stay. Over there, my day ended the only way it could, drifting slowly into a deep and grateful sleep. I was really excited to wake up that day. I was going to see Mount Fuji in all its glory across the lakes of Yamanashi and Shizuoka prefectures. Just like that, I started my bus journey. For some reason, I was feeling anxious about the weather. It was really cloudy and I couldn't see a thing from afar. Fuji started to feel like a faraway dream. Now, wrestling with my thoughts, I reached Fujinomiya and made my way to the hostel. My unease only grew stronger as I still couldn't catch a single glimpse of the mighty mountain. And at this point, I kind of knew that I wouldn't really see it this time. But I just didn't really want to acknowledge that thought as it was too heartbreaking. So I went out to the Yume-no-Ohashi bridge in hopes for the iconic shot, but I was quickly brought back to reality. Things started to feel like they were slipping out of control, like the trip was getting away from me. I started second guessing my decision to come to Japan as well. And in the midst of all these, I decided to take things back into my own hands. I made a decision. Now, it wasn't a calculated one, but simply an instinctive one. I took my bags and simply left a day early. Now the rain chased me out of Fuji, but I wasn't gonna let it chase me for the rest of my trip. I checked the cloud map and it said that the clouds would be leaving Hiroshima by tonight. So I just started my journey south. But for some reason, it felt like the clouds were following me. Or maybe they were always there. Traveled quite far and there were no sign of the clouds clearing. Doubts started creeping into my head like, I left Fuji to come here, but what if the weather was still the same? This thought sat heavy with me until finally I saw something beautiful in the sky. The clouds started to move and I could finally see a clear blue sky along with a wonderful sunset.
Okay, so I'm at this place in Onomichi. I'm gonna get some ramen from a place called Akatobi, I guess. And I don't know, I'm just so happy today. It's like yesterday was a shitstorm, right? So I was supposed to go to Akatobi to get some ramen, but like I just saw this cool place, this tonkatsu curry, and I don't know, I'm just super hungry. I was like running all the way here.
My
I
inner
don't know why
thoughts finally lost this round to the beauty of nature. And I was just like roaming around Onomichi like a kid who had just won the lottery. I was just glad that I didn't talk myself out of making this decision. Today, for the first time, I finally felt like I was actually on a trip. I was wandering around with my lens, no plan in mind, and I absolutely loved every moment of it. I got completely lost in it, like the way you do when something feels exactly right. That was the feeling. Every alley, every frame felt like everything was waiting to be found. Now it's hard to explain exactly how I felt, but the cats lounging on sun-warmed stone, the narrow alleys climbing up the hillside, and the old trains passing through like they belonged to a different era. All of it wove together into something that felt less like a town and more like nostalgia. I got so immersed that I found myself chasing the yellow Sanyo train across town, just trying to find the perfect spot to shoot it. And then, the trip that wasn't even planned handed me something that I totally did not expect. I turned a corner and climbed Senkoji, and here I found Sakura, lit up by lanterns and glowing against the deep blue hour sky. I just stood there for a long moment and I think I finally understood why people travel from every corner of the world just to see the cherry blossoms in Japan. It wasn't just beautiful, it cast a spell on me. It felt like stepping into one of those ethereal lantern-lit dungeons from Freeran, where the world slows down and the light makes everything feel like it exists slightly outside of time. Yesterday passed in an instant, but it was only the start of something more. I was finally going to Ehime, the reason I came to Japan. Crossing the 6 islands of Seto Nagai National Park carried a strange, quiet weight to it. The same bridge that I cycled once across. And here I was again, passing over it, with the sea stretching out on either side. After Imabari, the landscape sort of shifted a bit. The mystic forest lands of northern Ehime rolled past the window, tense and unhurried, until Matsuyama slowly emerged from between the trees. I didn't really do that much, and I didn't really want to that evening. Just arriving here was enough for me. I took a tram and let the cityscapes drift by. and the day ended early. Tomorrow was a special day. I was going to Shimonada. The morning arrived with a quiet certainty. Shimonada was an hour and a couple of trains away. And as the journey began, I didn't really reach for my camera or even my phone that much. I simply absorbed the atmosphere of Ehime as it changed while I was riding across the countryside. The vintage trees, the lines of cherry blossom, and the deep blue Seto inland sea. Now stepping onto the platform at Shimonada was a sort of quiet victory for me. Now that moment was over quickly due to a hectic train schedule, but I was satisfied just reaching that station. So I hopped onto the next train to Futami. I was eating at a restaurant while a certain picture of a hilltop view struck some sort of chord in my heart, and I was completely obsessed over that. I wanted to take that picture somehow. Let's change. Oh my god, here we got Sakura, here we got the sea, and here. Okay, it's just a road, but oh my god, and I'm shining. I roamed around town for a while and I even went to the beach. After a while, I decided it's time to take that picture. So I did a small trek uphill and I'm so glad that I did that. At the top, a field of sakura spread out, surreal. It felt like I was looking at snow-covered trees floating right above the ocean. I didn't really have any words to capture this. After a while, I came back down and I simply watched the most beautiful sunset I've ever seen in my life. Any lingering regrets I had about the trip were disappeared, and I was just glad I took the leap and listened to my heart. I had one more day of the trip left to me. The day finally arrived, bringing with it a roller coaster of emotions that pulsed through every hour of the trip. And so I began my final morning in Ehime at a quiet and charming bakery. I can still recall the scent of cinnamon and sugar that hung in the air the second I stepped inside. I made my way towards Mitsuhama, the nostalgic port town of Matsuyama. I was just wandering around without any agenda, just to see what the streets might reveal. My original plan was to head to Baishinji, another coastal station that mirrored the spirit of Shimonada. But as I crossed the river to catch the train, there was just a slight flicker of trees and a hidden pathway that caught my hand. It felt like a quiet pull, an invitation that I couldn't ignore. And so I decided to see what lies inside. And stepping onto that path felt like I had been instantly transported into the world of Zelda. Later, at Baishinji, I watched a young boy fishing with his father. I don't know why, but a single frame lodged itself in my heart, a sudden sharp reminder of my own family back home. The trip had begun under grey skies and the weight of hectic travel. but it ended exactly as it was supposed to do. By the sea, watching the sun ease itself behind soft, blurred clouds at the edge of the horizon.